Rising Kings and Queens. I call you guys Kings and Queens because if you're on this channel, we put the class in class-based shooter. Me, I consider myself the king, your boy Android Centaur 5, and we are back with another video for this great game called PayDay 3. And this is the check out my boomstick build, the DPS shotgun build. ARs work very well on this game, but shotguns hands down do the most damage in this game. If you're just looking for flat damage, just knocking things out with 1 to 2 shots every shot, you should be using a shotgun. That is if you like doing hip firing, because to get the maximum amount of damage out of these shotguns, you got to do hip fire builds, and this is by far the best hip fire build that I've seen on PayDay 3 in my experience of playing. Like I said, you can use any of the shotguns. All 3 of them work for this. In my opinion, this probably is the best one, but you can use any of the other ones. Like I said, I tend to color coordinate all the weapons that I use for specific builds. This one matches my secondary. So there's the double barrel, fully kitted out, maxed out, with the same color pattern that you can use as well as the rim-filled 880, the pump. In my opinion, this is probably the worst one out of the 2, only because this shotgun on this game seems to benefit mostly from aiming down sights because of the spread is so tight, and there aren't really mods to make the spread untight. It's only mods to make the spread tight. So you can use this one, and if this is your preference, yeah, it works just fine. But in my opinion, if you want the maximum results from a hipfire shotgun build, you either use the double barrel or preferably the 12 gauge. So I'm gonna go ahead and go back to the 12 gauge. The secondary is this 10 hammer that I bought from the vendor. We can go ahead and take a look at that. I like a 357 chrome pearl handle. That thing looks like a monster, like it'll knock you back 10 feet if he hits you with it. That particularly is the secondary, the best secondary that has the best accuracy as far as hip firing. So it just went very well with this hip fire shotgun build that we're doing here. As far as the deployables, we're going with the sentries. As far as the throwables, we're going with throwing knives. These 2 decisions will make much sense when you look into the skills that we're going to go over: the medium ballistic lining and the grenade launcher. The grenade launcher over the sniper, because this is a hip fire build and we can't aim down sight, so we lose all of our perks that we're getting from the skill tree. So by default, we're going with the grenade launcher. And then the infosonic mines, just extra pizzazz. Actually, you can put whatever tool here you want. I just, went with the mines just because I don't want to keep over abusing, I don't know, the motion sensor. Everybody seems like they use the motion sensors all the time. And since most of the time when I'm playing, I like playing on Cookout, the mines are actually OP on Cookout if you know what to do with them. But anyway, let's go ahead and jump right into the skills, because that's pretty much the loadout. You don't really have to change it much from this. This is what it is. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the skills. Guys, you guys know the routine. The first skill that's always on a loud build is that field surgery until they do the update where you can just get your life back from getting a health kit out of a med bag. You need field surgery on every one of your loud builds. If you don't have that, you're just doing yourself a disservice, because there's no way around not going down. You're going to go down. It's overkill. You just want to make sure when you do go down, you immediately put that down back. Not putting it down back is ridiculous, especially when they give you the perk to do so. Put it in your build. After that, we're going over to ammo specialist. Not because we really need anything from the ammo specialist. Yeah, extra ammo is pretty good, but we're using a shotgun, so it's usually pretty good on ammo no matter what. But specifically because we want plate Plate Up instantly regenerates our shields whenever we walk over ammo as long as we have grit. We get grit a lot in this build. Like a lot. Edge and grit is pretty much back to back to back. We don't have any rush items in this deck because this deck is actually pretty selfish. It really doesn't do much for the team. It's just pure DPS, and that's kind of what you want your DPS to be. The other DPS I did with the assault rifle, that gives your team ammo, and that's pretty good, but you know, on a shotgun deck, I'm not really concerned about anyone but myself. And if that happens to benefit the team as we go along, that's great. That's a beautiful mutual arrangement, beneficial mutual arrangement between unlikely teammates. But for the most part, I'm concerned with myself because I have to be up close and I have to deal the damage. Either way, we're skipping mower because that's mostly for assault rifles. We're not getting anything from out of there. We're skipping infiltrator. That's for stealth. We're going into tank. Just the tank, the first part of the tank though, just because we want our shield regeneration to be faster, 20% faster, because we can't do anything with the additional charges from our armor plates because we're using sentries. But also in this skill tree, we want last man standing. If we have grit triggered, instead of us going down from heavy damage, it just absorbs our grit and gives us 4 seconds of immunity. That's really good. We're in everyone's face. We're in the front lines. At least you're supposed to be in the front lines on this one. It's a good idea to be able to make sure you don't go down as quickly. Make it so you're hard to kill. That's your survivability there. Alright, after that, we're going into sharpshooter. Not so much the standing still aiming down sights, because like I said, we are not going to aim down sights at all. So I know you're like, well, why did you go into sharpshooter if you're not going to aim down sights? It's mostly because we want this right here, collateral control. With the shotgun, the spread when you're hip firing is all over the place. So when you get a nader and a zapper, you tend to hit those weak spots where they blow up, and if you hit the zapper, then it electrocutes your whole team, and that's free damage to you. Or if you get the nader, they cover their eyes whenever the explosion's there, and then again, that's free damage to you. This perk makes it so when you hit that, which you're always gonna hit it because your spread touches everything, it doesn't affect your teammates, it just affects the enemies. That way you can start using them as like environmental damage. That's just another way for you to deal damage. So yeah, definitely if you're doing the shotgun hipfire build, you should definitely put that on for your team's sake. It's nothing worse than being in a room where you're trying to defend that room. All of your teammates are like lapped up on top of each other. Then that zapper just runs around the corner in the middle of your room and you shoot the battery pack. You're not even thinking about it. You just shoot and it happens to hit the battery pack. Everybody in the room gets electrocuted. Y'all all get downed in a matter of seconds. This makes it so that scenario doesn't happen, at least not very often anyway. It won't be by your hand. And then of course, since we're in the sharpshooter skill tree, we might as well go ahead and pick up cutting shot. Cutting shot on a shotgun is actually a pretty good idea because you already have high base penetration just from using the shotgun. This just boosts it up even more. I don't really think at whatever percentage this cutting shot is high enough to make a real difference unless the base gun has high penetration. So I guess a shotgun and the snipers, putting it on the SMGs and the ARs, it just seems like a waste. Or the pistol, of course, not the pistol either. I mean, it just seems like a waste. Really is until they do the buff that they said that they were going to do, giving the guns some extra love damage. It just really doesn't always seem like the best fit. It sometimes seems like you could put other things in your build to make up for the fact that you're not using the extra penetration. But in this build, we're gonna have it because we get edge a lot, and we're using a shotgun. We're gonna skip escapists because we're not really running around. We want to shoot through things, not run away from them. Demolitionists, we don't have We don't have any throwables that do actual damage. So, I mean, well, we got the knives, but that doesn't do anything for explosions. This whole tree is about explosions, except for extra ammunition. We could have put that on and got 4 knives instead of 2, but it don't really matter. We don't need it. So we're skipping that whole skill tree. And then we're going to Enforcer. Enforcer we do need. It's a shotgun class, really, but it just so happens to work with everything else because of all the benefits that this skill tree gives you. So we're getting to the first point in Enforcer just to be able to get that grit after killing 2 people within 4 seconds. And then we're also going to face for that extra 10% damage if we have Edge and Grit together, which will be mostly all the time because we're always going to be triggering it. So that's another extra 10 damage. That's boosting your damage up, plus the edge that comes together with it. We don't have any other perks for damage up here, not yet, but we're starting to get into the damage now. So keep in mind that this is 20% damage right here because you have edge and then you also have face to face. This one is shock and awe. This is just really good crowd control. You're already using a shotgun. You want to try to be the stumble king anyway. One shotgun shot generally stumbles almost everything that's in front of you at this point, especially when you have the cutting shot on and you're using the next mod that's below this one. Actually, it's not below this one. Manipulator, we're not using anything from Manipulator. Engineer, we are putting 3 points into Engineer just because we have the Sentries, and we went with the Sentries because we don't have anything that's boosting up anything from the bags. We do have like 2 extra slots, but I mean, that's you got to put more points in it to make the bags useful, and I don't think we have enough points available that we're willing to take off to change this build to make those bags more efficient. So we're gonna go ahead and put them into Engineer, and plus it's good because it takes when you run out of shotgun shells, it's just like really inconveniencing. It's like it's not exactly like if you just had to change the mag on your AR. I mean, you do that on the 12 gauge, but it just seems like awkward and you can't defend yourself. Having the sentries there as like your backup is just like a extra insurance policy. It just makes you feel safer, and you keep the damage and the work going while you're trying to, situate your shotgun there. So we're putting in 1 point into Engineer because we want it to last longer before we have to pick it up and reset it. We're putting on the AP round so it shoots through things. Putting this on makes it so we really don't need cutting shot because our sentries have the AP rounds on it, but I digress. We'll go ahead and leave it on. And then of course we're doing dual sentries so we can carry 2 of them instead of just 1. Next down, this is the role that I was speaking about previously, the gunslinger perk. So we're going to be able to get edge by doing nothing but just swapping our guns, and we can keep refreshing it as long as we just swap. All of this goes away as soon as we aim down sight, so this is why this is a hip fire build. We're never going to ADS at all. Next thing we need is heavy hip fire. Absolutely. This plus the shock and awe makes you just stumble whole crowds always. It doesn't even matter what they're doing or what their intentions were. You shoot one shotgun, everyone scattering, falling, trying to get out of the way of that blast that you just shot. All those pellets are doing some serious damage, and at least making them think, why did I come in here? After that, this is the perk that really push you over the top. The finisher perk. That's why we don't really, I took off the extended mag off of my 12 gauge and put on the compact because I want this perk triggering all the time. And my last bullet in my magazine does an extra 200% damage. This is why shotguns do the most damage from this perk right here. There's nothing that could work in a build for an AR that would give you more damage than this one perk right here. And if you're not aiming down sights with your AR, I guess, man, if that's what you want to do, but you'd be doing a lot better if you just aim down sights with any of the ARs, assault rifles. But you know, this just makes it so shotguns are superior when it comes to damage, especially this perk on the double barrel. That's nasty. You're like two shot in a bulldozer. One shot pops the shield, the next shot downs them. Like, and it didn't even matter if it's on overkill or not. It's crazy. But yeah, so like I said, you have a total of 250% extra damage if you're doing the build like this, which is not the top damage that you can get, but it's really good amount of damage and survivability, and that's what you need to be able to do. If you just go straight all damage, that might work for a while, but on overkill you be getting one tapped by everything. This makes it so you can take a couple more shots before you go down. After that, we're skipping gifter, we're skipping hacker, we're going into tactician. The reason we're going into tactician, whenever I have edge and I stumble someone, whenever I stumble someone, I gain edge. It's just another way to get edge, which we stumble people all the time because of those, the heavy hip fire as well as the shock and awe. So we're stumbling people all the time anyway, so we're getting edge from that. But this is even better, the coup de roi. Anytime we stumble on anyone or stagger them with edge, we get another extra 10% damage. So that's just, again, stacking your damage up. And then last but not least, the last 2 points go into strategist, but strategist just to get to combat marking, because if I have edge and I mark something, that's an extra 20% damage. So like I said, you have 250% extra damage playing with this build. That trumps your Scar that everyone loves so much. Your Scar cannot see any of the shotguns on damage, not even the 880, which is the lowest damage shotgun. It's still doing way better than your assault rifle if you can hit the hip fire shots. Other than that, that's everything that's on this build. I'm gonna go ahead and jump into some gameplay and show you guys the beauty of the shotgun build, hip fire. Let's go.
With the cooks dead, we'll have to make our own meth. Why does this always happen to you guys? I did a quick search on Bane's old CrimeNet notes. Seems like the meth lab in DC cooked with muriatic acid, caustic soda, and hydrogen chloride. If it ain't broke.
Here it is.
Three bags of meth should be enough to turn a good profit.
Alright.
I just gotta decipher Bane's notes. A SWAT team just arrived. Safety's off, gang. This is a delicate process. Add the chemicals one at a time, and don't mix anything up, or the lab's toast. We need... This can't... The notes say we need lye to get the temperature up, but where? Caustic soda. I see movement in the field. Get ready. Cops in the house. Hostage rescue units are on site. If Bane's notes are accurate, mix in some muriatic acid. Well, nothing blew up. That's a good sign.
Got the sentry gun ready. Got the sentry gun set up.
Scientist
that
wrote
one
that.
was
I
good.
think we're good so far.
Goddamn sound! Push up!
Let's see here. Throw in the caustic soda.
Tactical shield unit in.
Chains has gone down. I'm 68% sure. Alright. Pouring some of that muriatic acid. Nice going. You can cook that batch a little longer to increase security. Keep an eye on it. They're deploying additional snipers. Okay. Got a breather. I can tell this isn't your first pick. 1 second. Add hydrogen chloride to the mix. Okay. Good. Good.
First I missed my train, now I'm getting robbed.
Sentry gun ready.
Found it!
Got the sentry gun set.
I'm
Cash
checking
for
the
me.
recipe. These notes are a mess. Muriatic acid. That's next.
You're completely surrounded!
You have 30 seconds until the assault. Lock and load. That looks right.
Exactly where you are! We have you surrounded! This is your only...
Sentry gun here. Got the sentry gun ready.
Safety's off. It's go time. Cops on the railway bridge. Hold them up.
You're in there! Nowhere to run!
All right. Scan. The notes say we need lye to get the temperature up, but where? Caustic soda. You did it. The batch's purity will increase if you cook it a bit longer. Just don't let it burn. Get those cops off the scaffold. Stay sharp. Cop sabotage squad rolling in. I see cops coming out of the forest. Watch the front of the house. Keep an eye on... I called in the van for pickup. Get ready to toss in the meth. There's still time to use up the rest of the ingredients. Let me
Oh.
reopen the recipe. I'm checking the recipe.
Yeah, I'm leaving. He went the long way.
Somebody help Chains. We can't stay here too long. Keep up the
Sentry
cook.
gun.
We need... We could have used those cooks. I think hydrogen is up.
I went the long way.
Add it to the mix. 1 bag and counting. That's 2 bags.
Aim is dead.
Did he throw a bag in? Yeah.
1 second. Dallas is down.
That was crazy.
The ghettos have the place
Yeah.
scheduled. But like
Oh, and
always,
good. They
you
did the
kept your
challenge as
cool.
well.
If you
Oh
want
wait, what was
something
that?
cooked,
What else was
cook
there?
it yourself.
Oh, invested. I'm not invested in that gun at all. Anyway, like, share, comment, subscribe. Till next time, peace.